the cameras. That is up and running, the FIVEAA Facebook live stream, all thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. And also, I want you to call me now, 8223 0000, chat to Emily, come on air. We want to give away the $50 Chris Jama voucher but what we want to know, because usually Chris is here, but we're still going to talk food, and Chris usually is here thanks to SMEG, building or renovating. Your first choice should be visiting the SMEG showroom at Debney Distributors. You can taste the SMEG and Pow's and taste the difference with SMEG and Pow's, the home of all Australian great wines. And we'll talk barbecue food shortly, and we'll tell you what to have with your barbecue. That is thanks to Parafield Airport Liquor. But with the $50 voucher, what's on your barbecue plate? What is potato salad, bit of lettuce, bit of avo, veggie burger, sausages? What's on your platter? All you have to do is come on and tell me, and you can go in the running for that one. Now, of course, it is barbecue day tomorrow, really. It's the AFL Grand Final. It's the long weekend, school holidays. So we thought we would go to the man who knows all about meat to tell us about the best thing, what he's got on his barbecue, the best things to put on your barbecue, the best way to cook it. Tony O'Connell Meats from the Adelaide Central Market. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Good afternoon, Angie. Instead of good morning, what's going on?
No, I will still talk to you tomorrow. But are you? My guess is you guys are busy there today.
Flat chat, yes. Sausages, shazliks, burgers, steaks, it's lamb chops and lamb chops. Yeah, very popular.
So so obviously chops are popular. Are sausages just as popular? Is it
very much so?
Is it the plain beef or?
No, like all of our flavours, the pork and porcini mushrooms, the river cottage, which is a real favourite of everybody's, and beef. We do a plain beef, but Worcestershire and crackback pepper is really good, and I mean really good. Yeah. And then like burgers are very, very popular too. It's easy to do a burger and sliders and things like that on the barbecue. So we do a Wagyu burger, which is really nice, and a lamb burger, just pure lamb burgers. That's nice, just not overly seasoned either, just a little bit of seasoning. And then your shazliks, that's really beef, lamb and pork shazliks. Chicken shazliks, probably our biggest sellers, and they're done in like a herb and garlic, honey soya or souvlaki. Again, a real popular cut.
Now, with the sausages, because I know you said you're making more. Is it too late to order, or is it just a case of coming in tonight because you're open till 9, or come in tomorrow and pick up your sausages, or do you prefer people to order?
Well, no, it's best to come in. Orders get a bit too messy because you can imagine 100 people orders and then you come in, my order, you have to go through the fridge. So, and the other, we watch it like this morning, all the chicken and the pork and porcini mushroom sausages were going very quickly, so we'll just make another batch now. And they'll recess tonight just before I go home, and then in the morning we'll make another batch. It might be the beef and lamb, herb and garlic or whatever, and we'll just make some more to match that. And then, long weekend, the weather's going to be absolutely superb, so all barbecues will be fired up.
And Tony, do you have a board out there every year on how many sausages you sell over the grand final
I would
weekend?
hate to think.
What do you think? What would your guess be?
What, in weight-wise?
No, I don't know, a number of sausages, I don't know.
Well, we'll work it out. Here we go. It's 12 sausages to a kilo, and we would have to make 400 kilos quite easy when you think about all the sausages we make and burgers. And, it would be easy that, if not more. And a lot of it's to do with the weather, Angie. As you know yourself, it's going to be really nice out there. It'd be nice gardening. It'd be nice sitting down watching the footy, and then Sunday's perfect as well. So why would you not just put the barbecue on and put a sausage on and have it? If it's cold, wet and windy, you're staying inside. It wouldn't be so popular that way. But no, this is the weekend for it, and a long weekend as well, which is just as nice.
Now, Tony, what's the old wives' tale? You don't prick your sausages? I
never do, no.
No, because that dries them out, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get all. Yeah, sometimes they split anyway, but no. And the sausages we make, we don't put a lot of fat through it, so your good quality sausages, no need to do that. No need to do that at all. Just barbecue them, not on a too hot a pan, but just keep turning them nice. Same as the beef patties or the beef burgers, just squash them down a bit, cook them one side, and then just, if you can help it, just turn it to once. And the shazliks, what we make is they're fairly square, so you can cook either side. So just keep rotating on each of their sides, and they'll cook perfectly for you. No problems that way.
So something like a shazlik, because you can overcook them, but how many minutes each side would they have to be okay to eat?
Oh, on a nice warm barbecue, not boiling hot so you're burning it, but a nice hot barbecue, I would say the four sides, you'd have them done in 8 minutes, 2 minutes a side, and just take them off and let them rest. Obviously, chicken you want to cook through. Beef, it's fine. Lamb is fine, but the chicken cook through properly.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with cooking them, just resting them for a little while. They'll keep cooking. You take them off the barbecue, stack them on top of each other, and they do keep cooking for a while. So, you don't want to overcook them and dry them out either. And the lamb, this time of year, lamb is just at its best. Beautiful lamb shazliks, and we do them in a souvlaki, so a little bit of oregano, olive oil, salt, pepper, lemon juice and rosemary. Put them on the barbecue. The smell is beautiful, but when you take them off the barbecue, you squeeze some fresh lemon on them, and it brings all the flavours out. Same as the lemon yogurt we do is another popular one, and the herb and garlic and sweet chilli. And it's not a hot chilli. You can always add to chilli. You can't take it off, but always add to it. Nice.
And what's on your barbecue plate? What's your perfect barbecue?
Whatever's left over Saturday afternoon. But
because you're working tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, finish at 3. So radio's off. We don't want to listen to the footy. Don't want to know about it till we get home, and then we'll listen to it. But I'd just like a lamb chop on the barbecue with a nice herb and garlic beef and lamb sausage. Yeah, they're my favourites. Yeah,
beautiful.
Quite simple. Well, easy.
Well, you got to run in tonight. You're open till 9, aren't you?
To 9 o'clock tonight, and then 7 o'clock in the morning, right the way through to 3 o'clock. But after about 2, as you know, the market, well, you've always been in the market. Yeah. After about 2, stock does get a bit low.
Yes.
So just don't leave it too late.
Yeah, great. All right, Tony. Well, we'll chat to you in the morning as well. But thank you for chatting to us, and have a good afternoon.
Pleasure, Andy. Nice to hear. See you, Larry.
Tony O'Connell's Meat at the Central Market. And the thing about Tony is his prices are really good as well, and he does fantastic stuff in bulk, so you can just separate it all, pop it in the freezer, and it's beautiful. And now what we are being told by the lovely people at Parafield Airport Liquor, they have the perfect partner for every dish. So what Powers has chosen to be the matching beverage with your barbecue today is a Pacific Ale. It's the Stone and Wood Pacific Ale. It is from Byron Bay, New South Wales, beautiful part of the country there. It's in a can. It's a beautiful gold can. I think there might be a picture of Matthew Pantelis and myself going up. Matthew had a bit of a taste of it this morning when they brought it in on our social media, so have a look. It's perfect for picnics, barbecues, beachside drinks, and stacking in the esky. It's hazy, golden, and brewed with pale malts, wheat, and plenty of galaxy hops that erupt in tropical fruit aromas and flavours, and it was born and raised in Byron Bay. This beer is the perfect accompaniment to any barbecue, offering its hoppy nature works beautifully with the texture of the chicken, beef, or anything else on the grill. Not to mention your mates will love you for serving these at your next barbecue. And it's normally about $20 for a 4-pack, but there's a FIVEAA special on until Sunday, $17.99, so a saving of $2. That's very good. That's for the 4-pack, or $59.99 for 16. Like I said, that's on sale till Sunday. So you can pop into your local Powers Liquor or go powersliquor.com.au and search for the beers. It's under craft beer. That is the Stone and Wood Pacific Ale. So that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much to Parafield Airport Liquor, and thank you to Smeg. And I think Bev wants to talk. You make your own sausages. Of course you do, Bev.
Yeah, good afternoon, Angie.
So you make your own sausages. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, we did butchering at the Regency. Went to do the chef's course. And the bloke that took the course, his father had a butcher shop on my dad's round, small goods round, and consequently he was our teacher. But I make my own sausages when I can. I got my attachments from Kenwood, and when I can do it, I go down to get the skins at Master Butchers, and I've got two different books on sausage making.
Yeah.
And that, so I know what goes into them. got to have a certain amount of fat, but I try and keep it as low as I can, more so for Max than anything else, because, fat content you've got to be just careful of, because I was brought up on the Heart Foundation diet, and we didn't have a lot of fatty foods even as kids growing up.
But I bet, Bev, you make the best sausages, and I bet they are so tasty. And you're right. But if you're making it from scratch, I think it's a hell of a lot better for you, isn't it? Thanks, Bev.
As an Indigenous kid, I have lots of questions about my future. Like, will I grow up in a country that hears my voice? Will I get to go to a good school? Will I be seen beyond the sports field? Recognised by the decision makers of our country? Will Australia listen to me?
On October 14, we'll decide what kind of country we want to be. Yes makes it possible.
Authorised by Dean Park and Australians for Indigenous Constitutional Recognition Limited, North Sydney.
When it comes to the freshest fruit and veg, meat, seafood, bread, pastries, small goods, coffee and cheese in Adelaide, the choice is simple. Adelaide Central Market is South Australia's home of the best local produce, super specials, cheap eats and pantry essentials, and there's something for everyone. They're open from Tuesday to Saturday, and of course we just spoke to Tony then. They're open tonight until 9, but tonight get live music, free kids, and then free kids activities on Saturday, not free kids. So you can enjoy the music tonight and tomorrow, and the free kids activities on Saturday. And if you can't make it to the market, simply order online for home delivery every Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Support local and shop at the Adelaide Central Market with 70 traders under one roof. Visit adelaidecentralmarket.com.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores, from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
We're with Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. I'm sure you get this question every day, but how's the market?
Record low stock levels combined with really healthy buyer activity means we're continuing to achieve strong results for our clients.
Oh, that's interesting, especially given some of the stuff we keep hearing about living costs. Where's that buyer demand coming from?
Plenty of people are moving here from overseas, but the big change is interstate migration, with more and more people moving to Adelaide from other states.
So I'm guessing you don't expect prices to drop anytime soon then?
Adelaide's annual home values have dropped only twice in 42 years. So history tells us it's extremely unlikely Adelaide house prices are about to decrease.
To find out the value of your home, go to toop.com.au.
The St John Christmas Home Lottery is giving away its first of 3 houses. The $1.1 million weekly draws kick off with a $550,000 Encounter Bay holiday home package. Don't forget our Cash Timber weekday draws for $20,000 in September. Plus, all tickets go into the $5.2 million grand prize draw, including a West Lakes waterfront home, or choose $4.5 million in cash. Buy your tickets now at stjohnlottery.com.au. Licence number M14453.
The FIVEAA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite FIVEAA shows wherever you go.
FIVEAA Afternoons with Angie McBride.
Big weekend, grand final barbecues happening. It's a long weekend, picnics by the river, school holidays, lots of food being left out of the fridge. SA Health Director of Food Safety and Regulation, Karen Ferris, joins me now. Hello, Karen. Thanks for your time.
Hello, Angie. No problems. Any opportunity to talk about food safety and remind people about the rules and the tips for the big weekend ahead with lots of outdoor activities and events is a wonderful opportunity.
Now, my first question was going to be to you, what is the main offender with barbecues? But I think in my head I'm thinking, well, it's sausages. I would assume it's sausages unless you tell me different. How are they with being left out too long? What's the rule on the sausages?
So sausages are made with minced meat. So the problem with minced meat is that you need to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. So it's not like a steak where you can have a steak, rare, medium rare. It's still safe, whereas a sausage is made out of minced meat. So you have to actually make sure you cook that right through to the centre. If you have a meat thermometer, fantastic. Check that they're 75. Otherwise, you can make sure that they don't have any blood running out of them. The juices are running clear and they're not pink inside. Chicken's the other one that's important. If you're going to be cooking chicken on the barbecue, make sure that that is cooked all the way through. Patty's the same, made of mince, so you need to make sure they're cooked. Steak, you can still have your steak rare and it will be safe.
So how long can food be left out of the fridge and it's still being safe to eat?
So we have a rule that we call the 2-hour, 4-hour rule. So if you can leave your food out after you've cooked it and you've eaten it and had your event, you can leave it up to about 2 hours, and then you can put it back in the fridge, and then you can have those leftovers probably within the next 2 to 3 days. But if it's left out at about 4 hours, we say throw it out.
What about reheating? Because I am a little bit paranoid about reheating things. So even if it's, I'm pretty good, I put it straight in the fridge. But I'm just paranoid about that. What are the rules on reheating sausages and barbecue foods?
So as long as you've done the right thing with the food before you've put it in the fridge, so you've not left it out too long, you've put it in the fridge, you've cooked it well enough, then there shouldn't be too much risk. You could probably even eat that sausage cold. Yeah. But if you do want to reheat it, the rules for businesses are that you must reheat to above 60. Some people like to cook it or reheat it to 75 just to make sure if there is anything that's grown in there, which is pretty unlikely, that it's killed something off. But then if something is growing and it's producing a toxin, then that reheating's not going to do anything to it anyway. But generally most foods, if you've put them in the fridge after 2 hours, and you've eaten them within a few days, then you can usually just even eat them cold. It's really personal preference.
So what about salads? I mean, I know you generally, as a rule, you can't really eat salads again, particularly with lettuce and stuff. It gets a little bit soggy. But what's the rule on potato salad with your mayos? Maybe
it's all the same rule.
Yeah,
all the same rule. 2 hours back in the fridge. You can have it for a couple of days. 4 hours out of the, we call it the temperature danger zone between 5 and 60. So if it's not held hot, it's not in the fridge. If it's out for 4 hours, then you need to throw that out.
Okay. We're chatting to Karen Ferris. Karen makes sure that we are safe with our food. She's the Director of Food Safety and Regulation at SA Health. Now, camping. Yeah, storing camping food. How do you store it, and how long can food stay in an esky and still be at a safe temperature?
So with camping, you're not always going to have access to your fridge. Some people might have a car fridge during travel, or might actually have power on a camping site with which they can run a fridge. So that's obviously the ideal. But if not, you might have to need to make sure you've got your eskies. It's a really good practice to have 2 separate eskies if you can, one with your raw food and one with your ready-to-eat type foods. And so you're keeping those separate, which is one of the key rules. Okay. And, not always ice. Sometimes, those frozen ice packs are better because ice will obviously go into water, and if your food isn't packaged properly, then you're going to get that water into your food. So as long as the food is kept 5 or below, it can stay in there as long as it needs to be. So it's really about that time in the temperature danger zone, which is between 5 and 60. So we say, keep it cool and then cook it above 60. That's the rule. So I think if you're planning to go away camping, it's best to have planned to eat your perishable foods first, and then take some sort of low risk type food for eating later in the weekend or later in the week if you're going away on school holidays. So you can take some safer food. You can take some UHT milk. You can take your juice. You can take dried foods, jars, cans, those sorts of things, and eat them later, and plan to eat those perishable foods earlier on, or just keep replacing the ice and make sure that the product's kept below 5.
Now, I don't have a food thermometer, but I'm thinking it's probably a good investment to make, isn't it, Karen?
Most definitely, yes. I have 2 at home, just one as a backup, just in case.
That's a good idea.
Yep, so I use it regularly, especially when I'm cooking chicken.
And they're not that pricey. You can get one they pretty much do the same thing whether you pay $5 or $50, don't they?
Yep, that's correct. Yep. There are some cheaper options around. Usually it's the battery that you need to replace if you can. But yeah, it's definitely a great investment to have.
Now, Karen, before we let you go, so how do you know you have food poisoning or gastro? Because most of the symptoms are quite similar, aren't they, with vomiting and diarrhoea?
Yeah, and that's why, on average it's estimated that we have 4.1 million cases of food poisoning in Australia. But we don't see that because a lot of people will just have some nausea and vomiting for a couple of days and they'll just wear it out and then just go back to work and not actually go and get tested. Yes. So it's the testing where we get results back from stool samples and things like that will actually be notified to SA Health. And then we will start to interview people and ask them where they might have eaten, what they might have eaten. Okay. But typically, people won't do that. If it's only a couple of days, they'll, just say, I've got a virus, and then not actually, we won't actually know that they've had any food poisoning. That's the thing. There are about roughly 32,000 hospitalisations. So those people have got very sick, and then they've ended up in hospital, and that's when they'll usually do a lot of the testing. Yes. We've had 86 deaths and 1 million visits to the doctor. Right. So, that's the typical across Australia, not obviously South Australia. That's why it's important, people understand their food safety rules and make sure that when they do have big events or when they're going somewhere different where they're not in their own home, where they're used to having their cooking equipment and their refrigeration and their hand washing, because that's the other thing when you're camping, where do you wash your hands? If it's too far away to walk, a lot of people won't do it. So it's good to either have somewhere that you can wash your hands close when you're preparing food, not to forget that important hygiene requirement.
Yeah, and I think, Karen, that COVID has kind of put people on a little bit of to be more alert when going to people's places as well, hasn't it? And that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. COVID's reminded people about personal hygiene and the impacts of it, so definitely, yes.
All right, Karen, so we want everybody to be safe with their food. If it's been sitting out any longer than 4 hours, it can probably go in the green bin. Yep.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. And I suppose there's one last thing that we don't talk a lot about, but if you are hosting an event, it's always really good to check if anyone that's coming has got a food allergy because, that's obviously a big risk. And the other thing is that, some people are considered immune compromised and those tend to be older people, those that are pregnant people or people with, weakened immune systems and they can't have a lot of these foods that we like to eat when the sun's coming out and things are warming up. So, it's good to know whether, if you've got someone that's immune compromised, sort of don't have the cold meats and the raw seafood and the cooked ready-to-eat seafood and the pre-packaged salads and all those sorts of soft cheeses and pâtés and all the things we love to eat, maybe have some alternatives for those people where things are a little bit safer as well. So not to say that everybody has to stop eating all those, but if there is someone that is immune compromised, it'd be good to have an option for them, such as a cheddar cheese.
And we're lucky today, Karen, because there's a lot more options for those kind of things before they're, maybe sort of 20, 30 years ago, aren't they?
Most definitely, with allergens. Yep, they've got aisles in supermarkets now. Yep, so for those people that have allergies. Yep.
All right, lovely. So everybody take care of yourself because we don't want Karen knocking on your door. So Karen Ferris, SA Health Director of Food Safety and Regulation, thank you for your time and have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Angie.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. The MFS is at a house fire on Rita Street at Para Hills West. The ANZ is aware of an issue stopping customers accessing their money. The outage is affecting online banking, card transactions, ATM and branch services. Services have been held across the country to honour fallen officers as part of National Police Remembrance Day. And in sport, Collingwood and Brisbane players have been put through their paces one last time.